Hi everyone, it's Chris here. I'm going to record another New Zealand vinyl update, all releases by New Zealand artists. These are some of the highlights of things I've picked out over the last couple of months. The last time I made a video, it was a few weeks ago now. So, some great stuff and a whole lot more that I've got on back order or is coming before the end of the year as well. It's looking to be a really bumper year of releases. So, first up, this is Die Die Die, Swim. This is, I think, their 5th album. It's out on Sounds of Subterranea, and there has been an evolution in the Die 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 sound, but it's still got some really distinct elements, which is the kind of the very kind of sharp sound of the guitars, the abrasiveness. The songs, I think, are getting stronger and stronger. There's some killers on here because they kind of change the change in the pace. It's not just straightforward punk rock. It's they're bringing kind of stops and starts and changes to it. And it's got the Obi strip on it, nice matte cover, and I believe there is a coloured vinyl release of this going to be coming out shortly on Small Town America Records, which, being a sucker, I'll probably buy. There's the inner sleeve. It's on 180 gram vinyl. Right, a couple of 7 inches. Libretta Suede and the Motel 6. They've been around for years doing kind of rockabilly, kind of garage rock and roll, and yeah, very much into the kind of burlesque is Libretta Suede, and this single In Full and Bad News. This is also out on red vinyl. I haven't seen it in the shops, but it is available if you search them out online. Another 7-inch. This is a new release from Bill Doreen, and using the name The Builders. I think there's actually 3 lineups of The Builders on this 7-inch, all recorded over the last couple of years in various places around the world. It's the Utopian EP. The Utopians Are Just Out Boozing is a fantastic song, a classic in the Bill Doreen canon, I would say. Yeah, really worth picking up this. There's been a number of archival releases of Bill Doreen material through Unvooked over recent years, but it's really good to have some new material out on vinyl. The second solo release by a member of The Clean this year, David Kilgour put out his End Times Undone earlier in the year. This is Hamish Kilgour, All of It and Nothing. He's put out stuff with, is it Mad? Oh, jeepers, it's gone. With his New York band, and which he's written, but this is his first solo material. It's, you know, when you first put it on, it's kind of quite deceptive. It just kind of meanders along and is quite kind of wistful almost. But the more you listen, the more depth it's got to it, and it's really turning into a favourite the more I listen to this. It's kind of psychedelic. It's fairly kind of understated, folky, indie, droney. Perhaps there's some of his interest in Indian music coming through a little bit, but you know, it's not overtly that way. Well worth checking out. All of It and Nothing. That's out on Bada Bing Records. This is what's playing now, and this is a real standout release from Fishrider Records in Dunedin. Temporary. Ian Henderson is the guy who runs Fishrider Records, and he's been kind of, I suppose, putting out a range of psychedelic indie pop records for the last couple of years, mainly drawing on, you know, almost exclusively on Dunedin artists where he lives, and this is his document of the local, or one of the local music scenes as he sees it. So what have we got? We've got selections from Dunedin's Pop Underground 2011 to 2014, 13 different bands on here, and I think he does put forward a good case for there being a kind of a pop underground, a psych pop underground going on in Dunedin. And you've got this nice, what have we got in here? We've got an insert, so this is what's playing at the moment. And also, this is pretty spectacular, this beautifully produced, he called it a fanzine, but it's actually more of a magazine. Let's look at the production of this, documenting these bands, artwork, articles about the Dunedin music scene. So you can really get down into it. You've got writing and poetry from some of the musicians as well, news clippings. So you can immerse yourself in it when you're listening to the LP, which is what Ian wanted to do, to give a sense of that Dunedin scene. So, as I say, a standout release for this year, and really nice to have a compilation that takes that snapshot in time. And of course, Ian will be very well aware of the legacy of that in Dunedin, with the Dunedin double of that kind of release. This is on WaihekeRecords, great record label based in Littleton, which is a port town just out of Christchurch, a town badly affected by the earthquakes a few years ago, but going through a bit of a rebirth. Littleton Records being part of that. They've put out a great series of releases, all in kind of a indie folk country kind of vein. People like Delaney Davidson have released on Littleton Records. Will Woods, although he sounds different, he's drawn from that same palette perhaps as the Eastern, but from Littleton and Delaney Davidson. And it's a really nice record. It's been pressed up on transparent gold vinyl. And looks fantastic. And yeah, it's another album that grows on me the more I listen to it. He's one of those, tattooed, bearded folk country artists. This is a recent pickup, and I just took a chance on it. I saw it in the New Zealand section at the record store. I hadn't heard of them. They're called Mice on Stilts. That's EP/LP. An Ocean Held Me. I googled something, a review. It sounded promising, so I picked it up. They describe themselves as folk doom, and I really like it. It's got a lot going on. They're an 8-piece band. There is a lot of kind of strings. There's saxophone in here. The songs kind of they build in stature throughout each song, and yeah, there's lots of layers. It's an interesting idea, and folk doom. Maybe doesn't completely capture it, but I see what they're getting at, and it's definitely worth a listen. And I'm very pleased to pick that up from Mice on Stilts. And nice to see bands who haven't got a high profile really making that effort and releasing stuff on vinyl. And there's this one next. This is something I've been after for a long time. So it's Roy Montgomery, a split with US artist Grouper, and it's on her label Yellow Magic, or was it Electric Yellow? Hold on. I can't remember. I'll have to have a look inside. But anyway, so one side is one piece from Roy Montgomery, the New Zealand kind of guitar. He does kind of droney, ambient guitar pieces, quite atmospheric. He was in a lot of early great bands like the Pin Group and Terminals and so on. And the second side is from Grouper. It was released, I think, 2009, something like that. It got a repressing last year, but hasn't been available in New Zealand, and quite expensive to bring into the country. But I did find a new copy in a local shop. It was pricey, but I've been after it for so long. I really wanted to get hold of it. And I love the cover artwork, which is replicated on the labels in this, and it seems to suit the feeling of it. There's also this print, and yeah, Roy Montgomery is an artist who I'm becoming increasingly interested in, and you know, it's just a matter of finding his stuff. There's a great compilation, is it 324th East 7th Street? Don't quote me on the title, but something along those lines that's well worth picking up. And if you can find this and you like those kind of very long, 20-minute kind of, it's kind of got, it's, you know, when I say it's kind of ambient and it's drony, it's not noise. He's much more kind of contemplative than that. And finally, Coretta, their new album, Pero Here. This was released on WaihekeRecords. Wow, what a beautiful job. Fantastic gatefold. Amazing artwork. And this record is probably, yeah, I think it's a real step up from earlier Coretta albums. It has more, I mean, Coretta have always been impressive, but this has more feeling, I think, more emotion. Sometimes I've found Coretta in the past a little too, I don't know, a little cold, a little calculated, but this has emotion and that depth to it. There were 100 of these pressed up on gold vinyl. The rest are on black vinyl, 180 grams, and it looks fantastic. It's, you know, because it's heavy in it, and it just feels solid. And yeah, and what else have we got in there? There's also, it came with poster, and I say the artwork for this is amazing. So a bunch of the releases that I've picked up recently that have really kind of grabbed my attention. Thanks very much for watching. As always, you can go to facebook.com/countingthebeat, and that's where I post what I've been playing, stuff I've bought, news, and you know, record shows, videos, all of that stuff goes on there. Also, there's a website, countingthebeat.gen, that's gen.nz. That's where the radio shows and the videos all go. So I do appreciate your feedback, and thanks for watching. Cheers.